Welcome, beautiful souls. Today I'll be going through both the Rider-Waite Tarot deck as well as the Light Seers Tarot deck and looking at the different ways that they depict the same messages. Let's start off first with the difference between a tarot deck and an oracle deck. So I learned this the hard way, that the tarot decks, they are the same story, the Major Arcana and the Minor Arcana. It's the same imagery, but depicted in different ways. Then oracle decks, they are a category with a bunch of different random cards that fit that category. Now, oracle cards and even tarot cards, they can be any different type of category. Like oracle, I know a lot of oracle decks have like cats and astrology, and there's even one for medical marijuana. There's just so many different things that they can do. Even with the tarot decks, even though they fit a similar story and guideline, you can show it in different ways. So the tarot decks in general, they are split into 5 different categories technically, but 2 major ones. There's the Major Arcana right here, from the Fool to the World, and then the Minor Arcana, which is 4 different suits. We have the Ace of, or the Cups, the Wands, the Pentacles, and the Swords. Now, the tarot deck actually originated as just regular playing cards, and this, the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, I'm pretty sure was the very first deck and is still used very commonly, but this is the deck that people go off of when they recreate new ones. Each suit, the Cups, Wands, Pentacles, and Swords, follows a 1 to 10 guideline, and each suit also has different symbolism connecting to certain elements, and each element is connected to different zodiac signs. So the Cups is water. This is our emotions, our relationships, and just, oh, also our subconscious, because that is what water symbolizes. But the Wands is connected with fire. This is our ambitions, our creativity, our passions. The Pentacles is earth. This is typically the material, both financial and our physical bodies. And then the Swords is air. This is more of our communication, our thoughts, and our words. The zodiac signs associated with each one is, for the Cups, it's Scorpio. I'm blanking for a second. Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. The Wands is fire, so it's Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The Pentacles is earth, which is Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. Then the Swords is air, so Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Okay, so before we officially get into all of the nitty-gritty details, I do want to mention 2 different things. While explaining the definition and just the overall meaning of each card, I do not talk about reversals. When you are first starting out, I would not get too into the meaning of reversals because it's a 78 card deck, and that's a lot to memorize. So, reversals, they pretty much just mean like the opposite. A lot of them are just hesitance and resistance with the meaning of the card. So, that's the first thing. The second thing is cleansing. When you first get a deck, you definitely want to cleanse it because you have no idea what energy is in and it has attracted. So you can either cleanse it with sage, incense, or you can do a visualization. You can just visualize bright white light just completely going through the deck and cleansing it. And And some people, they like knock on it to get all that energy out. I don't usually do that, but whatever feels most natural to you is good. So cleanse it when you first get it, but also you can cleanse it before and after every single reading. Really do something which is quick and natural to you. You don't want to force it and you don't want to pretend and be someone else. This is really a natural, intuitive thing, just in general with tarot. So just do what feels natural for you. So let's get into the Major Arcana first. I'm going to be showing you the same cards, just in two separate ways. And the Major Arcana is like the major life choices that we go through and situations. This is typically our destiny and fate. And then the Minor Arcana with the 4 different suits, they're basically our everyday situations that can be broken down into smaller portions. So let's get a side-by-side view of the two. The Fool. So the Fool, let's look at the original first. The Fool is number 0. This is the very beginning. They haven't even started yet, but the Fool is typically an innocent energy. They are starting out on a brand new journey, and this little doggy there symbolizes that they're not alone, that they have the universe with them, they're carrying very light, and they're off the cliff. Well, they're about to step off the cliff. So this card comes with innocence, naivety, and immaturity. It also comes with risk taking and calculating the risks, making sure that you don't over jump, but it really is about taking a leap of faith. Then the Light Seers Tarot, these are my 2 most used decks. But the Fool for the Light Seers Tarot, it's the same thing, but she's not even looking. She's holding on, and there's this beautiful pit that she's about to jump into or fall into. But this card is really about trusting that you're on a brand new journey and that everything will work out and that the universe will catch you. I'll put these over here. Next up is the Magician. This is the very first one, technically. It's number 1. This person, most likely it's you when you're doing the readings, but this person symbolizes that they have all the tools they need to succeed. They have all 4 suits. And this card is really about manifesting the things that you want into your reality. Next up is the High Priestess. This is card 2, but technically it's the 3rd one. This card is about intuition, trusting yourself and the unknown. It's also about the subconscious, but this is just your goddess, your High Priestess, and mainly it's about trusting your intuition and connecting with your higher self. The next up is the Empress. This card is actually my favorite card in the entire deck. It's just so beautifully depicted. This is a mother energy. It's number 3 in the Major Arcana, but technically the 4th card. And the Empress is very powerful. She is the ability to bring life into this earth. And she's also a reminder that women, well, cis women at least, they are cyclic beings. They are connected with the moon, hence this connection right here. And women have the ability to flow with life, and they are not men. And that's a gift, because if we were all the same, then that would suck. But it's a reminder that women and even men, because they have feminine energy within themselves, they have the ability to create and bring life into this earth. And that's what this card really is just a reminder of. It's so beautiful. I love it so much. But it's really just a creative card and creatrix person. Then we have the Emperor. So this card is about leadership, protection, organization, and stability. He is a father figure. Next up, we have the Hierophant. This is about spiritual guidance and wisdom, about trusting the divine, letting loose, having fun. I love this depiction much better than this one because look how carefree he is. He doesn't even have shoes on, which shows that he is a very grounded individual. And these steps, they have their own symbolism within itself. What I see with this is our steps in our journey until we get to the light of our life. Next up, we have the Lovers. Honestly, I'm going to keep saying it. I love the Light Seers Tarot and their imagery so much. I love that they made it an interracial couple instead of just two, well, yellow people. Actually, that's yellow. This is more like beige. But anyways, the Lovers doesn't have to be romantic, even though it does seem like it. The Lovers card is about partnership. So whether this is platonic, romantic, or in a business, this one definitely seems like it's more romantic, but that's okay. And then with this card, it has its own symbolism with the Archer. So this I get Sagittarius energy. Well, yeah, this is because of the Archer, but also just the fire, the passion, and it gives very mutable energy. This card, because it doesn't have the trees, it has its own symbolism. So this is actually the Adam and Eve, about the Garden of Eden and the wisdom, the tree of wisdom, and the tree of knowledge. And then the angel, I think that's Archangel Gabriel, I'm pretty sure. Then we have the Chariot. This is about forward movement, but it's also about control because they don't have any reins on, well, these are sphinxes. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. And then obviously these are horses, but this is just about control and forward movement. And it can also be about balance as well with the black and the white, with the divine feminine and divine masculine. We have the Strength card. Honestly, this is my second favorite card, and it actually inspired me to get an infinity sign on my arm as well. This card is about being gentle, but also it's about inner strength and resilience. Next up is the Hermit. So, this card is about wisdom, solitude, not having too much on you, and really about finding your own inner light. Next is the Wheel, or the Wheel of Fortune. So, typically, this card is about change and destiny. And these are the four elements, and it's about learning. But with this one, I always view it as instability because it looks like she's on top of the world and it looks like she's balanced, but it's not very stable. I mean, the biggest piece is on the top, which will not make for a solid foundation. So with this card, specifically this one, I always get unstable foundation that you need to work on. We have the Justice card. So this is really about balance mainly. And this is Libra energy, Libras are really good at dictators, and this is about taking your dark side with your light. Can also be about the subconscious as well. And this card is similar to the High Priestess with the two pillars and the little sheet, I guess, behind them. But this card is mainly about balance and justice, as it says. Then we have the Hanged Man. This is about patience and waiting, as well as just being at ease and being able to trust in the divine. Then we have Death. So this can be a scary card for people who don't really understand tarot, but typically it's not actually about real death. It's about just endings and letting go and loss. So this could be a relationship, a career, a home life. It's just endings. And then this one is death and rebirth, because with every death comes a rebirth. And it just brings something better. Next up, we have Temperance. So honestly, I really like the Light Seers Tarot much better. I'd say for all of them, to be honest. But this is about healing, kind of testing the waters, patience, and also balance. Then we have the Devil. This is another scary card that can come out, but it's not about a real devil. It's typically just about being trapped and being stuck and bondage and just feeling like you can't get out of a situation. You could be focusing too much on your physical urges and your ego is just too in the way. However, in this one, in the Rider-Waite tarot deck specifically, the chains around the people are loose. So they have the ability to get out of this bondage and this entrapment, but you have to basically have the strength and the awareness to allow yourself to escape this trap. And with this one, it looks like a handsome man with his shirt off who has strings and kind of like a puppeteer of the person. And it just shows like mental inner demons. Then we have the Tower. Another card that can be a bit scary. This card is about a rude awakening. It's about the foundation that you had wasn't very stable. So a truth that you could have been running from or trying to avoid has finally come out. And that's caused you to kind of jump ship and you need to leave. You need to find a new foundation. But this is really a blessing in disguise, because once that's crumbled and it's gone, you've lost, you've healed it, you're able to rebuild and take all of the lessons that you've learned from the past and build something that's more stable, because that doesn't look very stable. The foundation, if the foundation that it was built on was not stable, then it's going to come crashing down eventually. So now is the time to just let it all come crashing down. Then we have the Star. This is about hope and inspiration, as well as just trusting that the universe is abundant and that what you put out, you will get. With this, honestly, I don't like that she's holding the string. It kind of makes me feel like holding on to something that shouldn't be held on to, but it's also something beautiful and it's lighting her up from the inside out. So it does depict it a bit differently, but it is still a beautiful card that signifies hope, inspiration, and guidance. Then we have the Moon. This is about balancing the domestic side of ourselves that have been controlled and just been domesticated. And then the other side that is more our animalistic instincts. This card is also about intuition and secrets. And honestly, it looks like she's drowning as well. Then we have the Sun. So this card is really all about success, fulfillment, achievement, and love. It's about being able to express yourself fully and being able to be vulnerable with others. And also with this one specifically, I get a lot more play than the Rider Waite Smith tarot deck. We have the second to last card, the Judgment. So this card, this one specifically, I always get that you are allowing your intuition and your soul to come forward. This is also a wake-up call. It's calling you to your purpose, and it's also a symbolism of rebirth. So we have the final card of the Major Arcana, the World. So this is about endings, completions, and coming full circle. These are the same figures in the Wheel of Fortune, which again represent the 4 elements and the 4, or not the 4, but the 12 different zodiac signs. And this woman, she's doing a little celebratory dance because she's finally completed a cycle. Now, before we get into the Minor Arcana, I do want to let you know that almost every single deck that you purchase does come with a booklet like this one that will tell you what every single card means. And some of them even come with certain spreads as well. I do want to let you know that if you are just starting out, if you are a beginner with learning tarot, don't get too stuck in the booklet. Don't get too focused in the actual definitions because, yes, they all mean something, they all have their own meanings, but also trust yourself and allow your intuition to come through. Don't think too hard because when you think about it, you overanalyze it and then you trip yourself up and you start to self sabotage because you're not trusting in yourself anymore. So, even if you're just starting out, like you don't even have a tarot deck yet, don't focus too much on the meanings, the definitions. Really just look at it and look at the messages that come through. And I promise you will be amazed at how much you know before you even research about it. Okay, so before we actually get into the Minor Arcana, I do want to clarify when I was explaining the difference between the Major Arcana and the Minor Arcana, I said that the Minor Arcana was a 1 to 10 suit, which is correct, but there's also something called court cards. They are royalty of each suit. So there's page, knight, queen, and king. Overall, the courts usually represent people, but if they don't represent people, they can represent the traits that they have. So the page is someone that's usually very young. They are just starting on their journey as well, similar to the fool. They represent innocence and just a immature energy. they have a lot of learning to do. Then the Knight, they are typically the messengers, they are the go-getters, and they bring a lot of fire. No matter which suit it is, they just have a lot of energy to them. Then the Queens, they are leaders, but they're also very nurturing and motherly. They are more emotional, or the emotional aspect of it, and they're very in touch with their emotions, but they work hard, and well, they're a queen. Then the King, they are leaders, they are also go-getters, they're protectors, and they are similar to the Emperor, and the Queen is similar to the Empress. So let's start off with the Cups. The Ace of Cups, hold up. Okay, cool. So the Ace of Cups is typically about new beginnings. The Ace in general is about a new beginning, but with the Cups, it's new beginnings with emotional fulfillment. Now, even if this shows up in a financial reading, it could mean that it's bringing you emotional stability and emotional new beginnings. We have the Two of Cups. So this is sometimes a romantic card. If it's not a romantic relationship that you're dealing with, it could also be a partnership just in friendship or business. This is similar to the Lovers, but this is about an equal exchange of a give and take. Next up, we have the Three of Cups. This card is about celebration, connections. Sometimes it's not actual people, but mind, body, and soul, and your connection with yourself. This is typically a celebratory card. Next is the Four of Cups. This is usually about kind of putting too much attention towards what you've lost. It's also about dissatisfaction, but there's a new offering that you're not seeing, but you're getting there. You're too focused on the losses to see what this opportunity is bringing you. Next up, we have the Five of Cups. This is very similar to the Four of Cups with the dissatisfaction and the too much of a loss. So not realizing that in this card, there is this big bowl that is full and just wonderful. And over here, there's two more cups. So yes, he lost three, but they still have two cups. So this is typically about focusing too much on the losses. But I like this card because you can see in this one, her foot is pouring it out. She knows she needs to let this go. And in this one, I also like the journey in the past that shows that that's her journey that she's been through. However, it can also be the journey that she is destined to go down once she lets go of all of these losses. Next up, we have the Six of Cups. So this is a giving energy. This card reminds me of an older sister helping out younger sisters, or just an older sibling with a younger sibling. And then this one, it's honestly, it reminds me of just looking at the past and reflection and seeing where the time has gone. I'm getting like a song channel with this one where it's like, where has the time gone? I don't really remember the rest of the lyrics, and that's the only part that's coming up from the song, but yeah, that's the song that came up for that card. Then we have the Seven of Cups. So with this is really about decisions and choices, and sometimes it also means an ability to like overanalyze, and that no choice can be a bit crippling. It can also just be about trusting your intuition with the different options, because as you can see, he can't actually see what's in there. He can. And with the clouds, this is more like memory choices overall, but that shows it better in here than in this one. This looks like it's a physical choice. Yes, there are clouds, but it's not as strongly as a mental, depicted at least, but they both mean the same thing. Next is the Eight of Cups. So this is about you were working on something and it was going somewhat well, but not well enough to keep going. So this is about letting go, releasing, and following a different journey. Next up, we have the Nine of Cups. So this card is really about satisfaction and fulfillment. It's also about freedom and gratitude. Lastly, with the numbers, we have the 10 of Cups. So this is really the ultimate fulfillment of emotions and family life. This is just satisfaction emotionally. So we're followed from the 10 of Cups to the Page of Cups. This brings imagination, and this card specifically with the pig, it always reminds me of When Pigs Fly, which is basically saying that when something that's impossible happens, that's when like your goals will be achieved. This card, it's just like a very humorous, or impractical, but also someone that really uses their emotions to guide them. And it's a messenger of, most of the time, your internal ability to think outside the box and be creative. Then we have the Knight of Cups. So, with both of these cards, they show a romantic person who brings in a lot of sweet gestures. They're more mature and independent. But with this card, I always get hesitant because look at the horses. They're just like not really looking. They don't seem ready. This specific card also gives me Sagittarius energy. Then we have the Queen of Cups. So with this is about connecting to your intuition as well as your emotions, allowing yourself to feel and go with the flow, releasing and surrendering to the divine or the universe. Lastly, for the cups, we have the king. So this man, he is stable in his emotions. He's incredibly mature. He also knows how to just flow. He is an adventurer. He travels, and he's just very one with himself, and he's not afraid to communicate his needs. He's not afraid to feel his emotions, and he's definitely not afraid to let people in. So next up is the wands. We have the Ace of Wands. So this is a new adventure, a new endeavor, a new opportunity for something creative. And with this Ace of Wands for the Light Seers Tarot, with the fire being around the third eye chakra, I'm getting a lot of new opportunities and a lot of different ideas and connecting with her intuition. It also reminds me of the High Priestess in the Major Arcana of the Light Seers Tarot. So next up is Two of Wands. This is typically saying that you have the world at your hands, but with this card, it's honestly both cards, but this one more specifically, it shows longing for something different. And with the number two, it's usually about choices and decisions and balance, but really making a decision on where to go, especially with all the new beginnings. We have the Three of Wands. So this is more of you've made a decision and you're about to embark on a journey. Notice how they're both solo. This is a solo journey most of the time that needs to happen for the greater good. And with this, with the water in the wands, this is her subconscious, but also her emotional state, really diving into her emotions. Now, there's a lot more water in this card than there is in this one. This one, it kind of looks like a dry desert. So this could be going to find something that brings them emotional fulfillment and stability. We have the Four of Wands. So this is really about a foundation that's stable, playful, loving, and healthy. This card is usually a family card. It also reminds us to not take life too seriously and to be a bit playful. Next, we have the Five of Wands. So this card can be about conflict and really needing to push through to get what you want, but not trampling other people to do it. Then following the Five of Wands with the conflict, we have the Six of Wands. So you come out victorious, you are seen, and this is really just about victories. This is a victorious card. Then we have the Seven of Wands. So as you can see, they are a bit different. In the Rider Waite Smith Tarot deck, he seems a bit on the defensive edge of it. He's kind of just guarding against what he wants. But in the Seven of Wands, she has her boundaries, she has her stuff, but she's trusting herself. She's connecting with herself again. And she's in this protective orb, which could be her internal world and her creativity. Next, we have the Eight of Wands. This is about fast movement and it's about change. It can also be about putting all of your stuff together, but it's mainly about fast movement and it could also be about communication. Then we have the Nine of Wands. So this card, it's pretty similar, but this person seems more like scared and hesitant, whereas this person, she seems a lot more self-assured and grounded, and it looks like she's really working on something stable. Him too, but he looks like he's more afraid to let go, while she is like, yeah, I know my worth, I know what I'm doing, don't even try me because you're gonna get effed up, all right? So she has boss energy. He has insecure energy. Then we have the Ten of Wands. So honestly, this is really about putting down the burdens and packing your stuff and moving forward letting go of a cycle that has just ended. We have the Page of Wands. So with the Innocence, the Page of Wands in the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, he is looking at his creativity. He is observing, and he could be just thinking up new ideas. While the Page of Wands in the Light Seer's Tarot, she has her wand all the way up. She's playing, she's letting go, she's free, she's flowing. She's not too attached, but she's having fun, and she's letting loose. She's letting go. We have the Knight of Wands. So I really love the different ways that these are depicted, because in this one, he's just chilling there. He's like, yeah, I don't really know where to go from here. But she is also having fun. She has her stuff up. She's safe. She's protected. And she's not taking life too seriously. Then we have the Queen of Wands. So with the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, you can tell she's a queen. She is creative, she is loyal, she is optimistic and positive and bright. She's confident, and she's very intuitive as well. However, this Queen of Wands, you can't tell she's a queen, but she is, in the sense of she knows her worth. She's balanced. She's creative. She is full of love and passion and creativity. And she got it all. And she's also protected as well. Lastly, we have the King of Wands. This man, he's stable, he's grounded, he's also creative. This is the third card that reminds me of Sagittarius energy, but truly he is giving Sagittarius and Gemini and Leo as well. So Sagittarius, they are outgoing, they are very smart. Same thing with Geminis. They have knowledge in so many different things. And with this card showing a lion, it also shows strength and resilience. And with it being Leo, Leos are incredibly outgoing. They are very bright, intelligent, and they just bring so much passion and fire. And then with this Knight King of Wands, you can't really see much of him, but he's kind of just chilling there. He is also a leader. He's hardworking. You can see lions in the background, which also represent resilience and strength. But with this one, you can actually see it. There's also little chameleons, and they remind me of, oh no, they're not chameleons. They're like geckos. And then chameleons are the ones that change colors. But geckos, they're small, they're easy to get around. But this card also kind of gives like transition energy. Next up, we're going to move to Pentacles. So with the Ace of Pentacles, this is, you're given a brand new financial opportunity, and you could be growing it from the ground. You are planting a seed for it to grow into something that is more stable and something that will actually bring you fulfillment. We have the Two of Pentacles. So this is about balancing as well as making a decision and choices. With this one, it shows more of balancing the material and the spiritual, as well as being in flow with your emotions. And in this one, it just seems like a juggling act, like he has too much on his plate. Which one is he going to choose? We have the Three of Pentacles. So this is working with a community, not doing everything yourself, and really getting some advice, some guidance, and just creating and working towards what you would like. We have the Four of Pentacles. So sometimes this card can represent as greed and materialism. He's holding on way too tightly to the material. And this one, it seems like there's just so much baggage in the background that needs to be cleared out. Next, we have the Five of Pentacles. So in the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, it shows two people being left out in the cold. However, in the Light Seer's Tarot, it shows a woman who is kind of like is hurt and in despair, but you can see that there's this key to her financial prosperity, or the door, and the key is right there. All she has to do is pick herself up, look around, and she'll find that the key is right there. And oftentimes she is the key because we have all of the abundance within. It's also a reminder that not everything is quite what it seems, and it gives us a different perspective. So for the Six of Pentacles, this is also about giving an equal exchange and balance. Next, we have Seven of Pentacles. So in the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, honestly, there should be a count on how many times I say that, but this seems like they're working towards something and they just don't seem satisfied with what they are working and growing towards. But in the Light Seer's Tarot, this is about nurturing what you're growing because it will build into this solid, stable foundation. It's a reminder to keep going because your hard work will pay off. And look at how much is already grown in there and how much is already grown down there that will eventually be stable enough to keep going. Next, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So this, the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck specifically, is really about keep working, and you decided, I'm going to stick with it, I'm going to keep going. But the Light Seer's Tarot is more about being in the flow, being cyclic, and connecting with the different phases of yourself and of the world. And 8 is a number of manifestation as well. So it's a reminder that you can bring in whatever you want if you put enough effort and consistency towards it. Next, we have the Nine of Pentacles. This is about fulfillment and stability. All of the hard work has been paying off, and she is finally able to reap the rewards. This is just about satisfaction and gratitude. Then we have the Ten of Pentacles. So this is also about fulfillment, but of course, 10 is coming to an end of a cycle. But with these cards, this one is a much happier card than this one, but they both symbolize a secure, stable, loving, and healthy environment. Then we have the Page of Pentacles. So this one, for the Light Seer's Tarot, she is stable, she's grounded, and she's balanced. Then with him, it looks like he realizes the wonder that he has and he's kind of trying to show it off. So it's slightly different energy, but it's really about grounding, stability, and learning on the journey to your success. We have the Knight of Pentacles. So this one shows it much more than this one, but the Knight of Pentacles is really about being so financially stable that you're able to give back and to keep moving forward. Then the Queen of Pentacles. I absolutely love this card. Like, she's so beautiful. She reminds me of Taurus, and she just gives very stable, grounded, abundant energy. She feels safe and secure. Like, all of her financial worries, she doesn't have any because she is stable and she trusts in herself. Lastly, we have the King of Pentacles. So this is someone who is protective, stable, secure, grounded, but he's also laughing. He's having a good time. He's not putting too much attention towards the pentacles, but he is very materially wealthy. Lastly, we have the swords. So, of course, we're going to start with the Ace of Swords. This is about new ideas, and this can be clarity, organization, analytics, and logic. And it just brings in some light into possibly dark times. I love the Light Seer's Tarot depiction of it with the spiral case and the light shining in. Next, we have the Two of Swords. So this is about boundaries as well as like being trapped. With this Light Seer's Tarot card, you can see that there's just so much talking and babbling in her ears, and she can't see. She feels stuck. And then with the Rider-Waite Smith Tarot deck, she also has a blindfold, but she has two swords. She's kind of saying, like, don't mess with me. And when you can't see, it actually heightens all the other senses. So this can also be about trusting yourself, but not getting too caught up in your thoughts. Next, we have Three of Swords. So this is really just about pain, emotional wounds that need to be healed, and healing the emotional wounds. Then we have the Four of Swords. This is about resting, fulfillment after you've been healing, and just taking time out to take care of yourself. Because rest is productivity. If you're not taking the right amount of rest in your life, then how do you expect to keep going? You're going to burn yourself out. So with the Five of Swords, typically this one, the Rider-Waite Smith Tarot version, it's about deceit, lies, secrets, just taking, and you can see like that person looks like they're crying and that person's smiling. They both drop their swords. This card is more of winning something, but at what cost? Then with this one, the Light Seer's Tarot, this honestly is a little bit darker. This is more about mental anguish and just about letting go. This could be a little bit of a mental depression that you're in when this card shows up. Then it follows up with the Six of Swords. So in the Rider-Waite Smith Tarot deck, this is about moving to calming waters and just taking what you have and leaving a situation. And then in the Light Seer's deck, it's very similar. She's going on a journey and she's traveling alone, but her thoughts are guiding her. And she's kind of just going through this purging storm that she needs to go through in order to come out better on the other side. Then we follow up with the Seven of Swords. So this is similar to the Five of Swords when it comes to the Rider-Waite Smith Tarot deck. This is about taking everything, deceit, lies, and manipulation. Then with the Light Seer's Tarot, this can be about how you're using your words and possibly, well, trampling on other people to get what you want, which is never the case. It can also be about letting go, and it could be a sign of good luck as well with the feathers. Next, we have the Eight of Swords. So as you can see, this suit shows a lot of mental anguish. In the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, it looks like she's bound and surrounded. There's not much water, which means there's not many emotional satisfaction and emotional needs being met. While in the Light Seer's tarot, you can see her reflection. She looks like she's bound, but really she's not actually bound at all. She's free, but she just feels that way internally. That's how she feels emotionally because of the water. Then we have the Nine of Swords. So I feel like with the Light Seer's tarot version, it shows a lot more hope than the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, because the Rider-Waite-Smith, I'm about to just call it the Smith deck. The Smith deck, there's no hope in this card. It's like he's staying up all night. He is in so much stress and anxiety, and he just has so much going on in his mind. While in the Rider or the Light Seer's deck, yes, you can see all of these thoughts, these negativities, but there's also protection. It is being pushed away. She is being protected. And it looks like she's homeless because she's just sitting in a field with a dirty pillow. But this shows hope because she is manifesting a better reality once she gets rid of those thoughts and lets them go. And you can see there's a little headboard that's in the background that is coming to fruition. So to end that cycle is the 10 of Swords. So when the 10 of Swords in the Smith deck shows up, typically it shows pain, backstabbing, and just loss. But the good news is it's the end. It's the end of a cycle. So there's no more, and you're able to purge and move on. Then with the Light Seer's deck, this looks like more of a detachment, letting go, and going with the flow of life. The Page of Swords. I love the Light Seer's deck just because of the way that it's shown. She looks like, well, she is walking on a tightrope from one cliff to another. This seems like it's a very dangerous situation, but she's studying, she's researching, she has all of these ideas. These ideas are keeping her up, and it's getting her through from one side to the other. So this can be about challenges, but it's a sign of hope because these challenges will be overcome. And look, she's almost to the other side, but she's so focused on her research and her ideas that she's not even paying it attention, and she's still moving forward. And with the two birds, also about balance. The Smith deck, he's more of on guard, and it seems like he's kind of in a defensive energy. Then we have the Knight of Swords. So both of these energies are really chasing, they're going, they're pushing. And the Light Seers, it looks like his bike is right there. His travel, it's not even moving right now, and he is chasing after it. But the Smith deck, this kind of comes as a warning, but it's also, there's going to be some powerful incoming messages. However, this horse is like, let's slow it down, like you're moving too quickly, just chill. It reminds me of like the saying, like coming in hot. Second to last, we have the Queen of Swords. So artwork wise, I like the Light Seers better, but message wise, I think I like the Smith deck better because the Light Seers, it's more, so they're both very analytical and logical, and they have boundaries. They're very freeing, and they just, they're grounded within themselves, but they're so far in their mind. And the Queen of Swords and the Light Seers kind of scares me because of this. It's showing that her cup of water, her emotions, are locked. They're hidden away, but they're also protected, so they're safe. But there's not much emotion in this. So this energy can come off as cold and just very detached. Lastly, we're going to finish up with the King of Swords. So this man, he is very wise and knowledgeable. This is also Gemini energy and Libra slightly, but mainly Gemini and a little bit of Aquarius. But he's very knowledgeable, he's wise, and he's great at communication. He is very much in his head and he has a lot of thoughts going on, but he also has a lot of ideas and leadership qualities to him. So that is gonna wrap up for the tarot decks. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you get notified every time I post a video. And leave a comment. Just let me know how my explaining went, the pacing, and if you enjoyed the different depictions, and if you would like me to explain any oracle decks, or if you have any questions, I would love to answer. And I'll see you next time. Have a great day.